We want to name just a few of the most important aspects of your life, and we want to call your attention to something that really is important. These may or may not be in order of importance. They're all going to seem important to you, but your earth spins in its orbit in perfect proximity with other planets. Not your job. Your sun comes up every morning. Not your job. The water of your planet moves around in a pattern that serves your planet in terms of balance and energy and food supply. Not your job. Didn't go with us on that one quite as well. Your blood pumps through your body while you sleep. Not your job. You're not as impressed with these things as we are. We want you to begin putting, for a little while, everything that is important to you in the category of not your job, meaning not your action-oriented job. We want you to understand that there is a broader perspective that is moving things and keeping things in balance, and that the population of your planet is something that is tended to from non-physical consciousness perspective, that so much about what you are living here was set into motion even before you got here, and that there is a vibrational reality that you will call future experience that is underway, that you are contributing to on a daily basis by the sifting and sorting of the contrasts that you live. So just for a little while, we're not asking you to withdraw from life. We're not asking you to not have fun measuring yourself with others. We're not asking you to not enjoy the competitions that you find with each other. We're just asking you to put it in perspective. We're just asking you to acknowledge that there is an energy that creates worlds, a consciousness flowing energy that creates worlds, that comes from what some want to call God. We call it source energy, or your inner being, or the non-physical part of you, that is working for you because you are blessed and deserving, not against you ever. We would like you to accept that as you are here in these leading edge bodies, and that as you explore the details of your life and you find something that is unpleasant to you, like people who are hungry, or people who are angry and mean and belligerent, or that when you experience the exposure of that and you feel the offness of it, that you give birth to a rocket of desire that is then understood by this energy that creates worlds. It becomes part of the consciousness. It becomes part of the becoming. So you keep giving birth to a better world that you don't line up with. You give birth to a better world all day long. You give birth to more peace. You give birth to more prosperity. You give birth to more abundance of all manner. You give birth to all kinds of things by your exposure to it, through your personal exposure with one another and through the media or your televisions or whatever. You are exposed to so much that makes you do what you were born to do, decide and define what would be better. But then you don't go to what's better because you keep focusing upon the problem that you've been exposed to. We want you to step back just for a little while. Try it for a month. People say, what are you doing? Nothing. No, really, what are you doing today? I'm gonna daydream. What? Yeah, I'm gonna go sit by the lake or sit by the fireplace. I'm gonna put my feet in the water. Aren't you going to go to work? Yeah, but I'm not going to focus like I usually do. I'm going to tap into my true power. Probably going to get fired. No, I have enough reserves going. I can go through the motions of what they need from me while I dominantly daydream. I can daydream at night. I can daydream on the way to work. I can daydream on my lunch hour. I can daydream. My mind can wander into the good things of life. I can predominantly daydream. What are you doing? Nothing. You can't be doing nothing. No, really, I'm not going to do anything for a while. What? I'm not going to do anything for a while. Nothing? Hardly. I'll probably get dressed. Take an occasional shower. I'll eat. And I'll show up. But I'll be different, because I'm showing up in my wholeness. I'm showing up in my expecting good things to come to me. I'm showing up expecting inspiration to come to me in such a timely way that I can shoot a basket from mid-court and on a buzzer beater win the championship. I can do that. I can invent things and create things by utilizing this higher power that I have to daydream myself to. I'm no longer going to hold myself in practical defiance of my true power. So we're just saying that when you get the hang of this, the power of a non-resisted thought is a comparison of like an atomic bomb to a firecracker. The relationship of the energy and the movement of the energy within it, the power of a non-resisted thought. Try it just a little, not even all the time, just a little more. Daydream a little bit and see what happens. Let your mind wander, or think about when your mind did wander and what it produced. Esther was waiting for her plane at the airport on her way to here, and she was in the Delta lounge and just got a really strong impulse to go to her gate. And she looked and she thought, it's an hour early, I should stay here, because less people, more food, comfortable chair, I should stay here. But the impulse to go was really strong, a good feeling impulse, like something better awaits you somewhere else. That feeling, her practical mind couldn't figure it out, because nobody wants to be at the gate instead of the first class lounge, but Esther did, was strong. So she went down to the gate, found a seat, saw that her flight was on the board. It was the next flight coming. There was an airplane still there and another one still coming, so she was there really early. And then she thought, I should have a drink of water, my breath might be bad. And she thought, I should eat a breath mint, my breath might be bad. And then she thought, I should stand up. And then she thought, I should go over there. So she's just following these unimportant seeming impulses, and a woman turned around and said, Esther, oh my God, I knew I would meet you someday. I didn't know where or when. Esther said, me neither. All I know is that for the last hour you've been calling me right here. You've been calling me right here, and see, my breath's good. Now we know these are not earth-shattering events, but what we want to say to you is that you are co-creating with all kinds of things. Oh, and this girl has a resume that knocks Esther's socks off. The last 5 things that Esther wrote on her daydreaming list are those kinds of things. In other words, the universe knows who you are. The universe knows who others are. The universe knows where you are in relationship to everything that you want. When you are in alignment with who you are and you get an impulse. Now, there's not one of those things that we said to you that Esther was thinking about that feels very important to you. In other words, how earth-shattering really is it for Esther to just get up and go someplace else? Not very. But isn't meeting someone a good thing? And isn't timing of that a good thing? And isn't co-creating a good thing? And isn't that how the world goes round? Isn't everything about co-creating? Isn't everything about that? You see what we're getting at? We've been working with Esther a long time. We're trying to convince her every day to do what feels best to her, not to do the most practical thing or the thing that in other words, what's more practical, to stay here or go there? What difference does it make? Follow your impulse. Except that there is someone upstream from you with a broader point of view that knows everything that you intend, that knows everything that's in your vortex, and knows, here it is, what the path of least resistance is to get you to where you want to be. But it's not path of least resistance just to get you from some place to another place. It's path of least resistance to give you the most fun along the way. You see what we're getting at? Now, you would like this story a whole lot better if this was the story we told you. Esther woke up one morning, couldn't wait to get down to the liquor store. That's where she buys her water and milk. But on this particular morning, she got up, she couldn't wait to get there, and she bought a lottery ticket and she won $10 million. No, she didn't, but you would like that story better. You would like that story better. In other words, you're always wanting the big payoff. We're wanting you to understand that your big payoff life is a series of good feeling events over which you have control, because you are daydreaming, because you're maintaining your feeling of alignment and you're following your impulses, so that everywhere you go, the best that the universe has to deliver to you is delivered to you moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. And that is what living happily ever after really is. There is nothing that you cannot be or do or have. But you cannot hold yourself in vibrational resistance as your practical mind keeps taking score of where you are instead of where you want to be. And because you've not really understood this, and you've not allowed yourself to purposefully daydream, because you've oriented yourself to too much practicality, because you've been measuring your success in life to how others have approached you or others have approved of you. Those you work for expect things of you, and you want to perform in a way that pleases them. And those who you were born to expect things of you. You've given over your power to almost everyone else, seeking approval from their factoring you into them. And that's all right, because if you don't do what Esther wants you to do, she'll find someone who will. Are you afraid? No. Of course you want to do the things that you are supposed to be doing. We're just asking you to daydream too. Are you following? We're just asking you to begin leveraging this energy that creates worlds. Now, right now, you're sort of limp about it. We just delivered to you a soliloquy that could take you happily ever after into outrageous success on any endeavor that you're about, and you are limp about it because it doesn't seem big enough. It doesn't seem important enough. We ask for zero sacrifice. No sacrifice, no struggle, no attention, no effort. We didn't ask for any of the things that you equate with success. You've been barking up the wrong tree for quite a long time. It's time for you to start being nicer to yourself and daydreaming more and being happier about things and giving yourself more leeway and going to more places where you feel good and looking for more vistas that you can sit and look at, and more daydreaming, more just giving yourself the opportunity to let your mind be still while your vibration rises, so that then you can receive the impulse to put you in the right place at the right time for the things that you are looking for. We've enjoyed this interaction immensely. So now we want to visit with you about what matters to you, and we are not guiding you away from the nitty-gritty of your life, but we are giving you a sort of advanced announcement that while the nitty-gritty of your life is something worth talking about, and we'll help you shift energy on anything that's important to you, we're also going to ask you to reach with us for a sort of overview. We'll shoot off firecrackers with you here all day long. We will, if that's what you want. We'll talk about that kind of low-powered stuff, if that's what you want. Or we can get into the big leverage. In other words, we promise you that when those men take that smokestack off Esther's house, and they will, that they will bring the biggest crane that anyone has ever seen. And they will plant it on the street, almost a neighborhood away. And they will reach over several places with this big crane. They will not bring a hammer and a chisel and a saw. They will bring a crane, a really, really big crane, and lots of really, really big chain. In other words, it's going to be a big leveraged thing that happens, you see. And we think this is perfect timing in Esther's life, at the perfect timing when we're wanting to convince her to get the damn crane. Stop running around with a little hammer in your pocket and trying to make things happen. Get the crane. Get the crane. Are you ready to get the crane? All right. So, here we go. It's going to be a really good day.